Hello, my name is Jenna Dykman, and I work for Utah State University in the Extension Department. And joining me is...
Hi, I'm Kaya Thomas. I'm a nutrition and dietetics student at Utah State University.
And today we are making a Salsa Verde recipe. And the base for our recipe are tomatillos. Before we start prepping this recipe, I want to talk a little bit about tomatillos. Maybe you've worked with them, maybe you haven't. But when you're buying tomatillos, they might come like this, or they might have a husk on them. So for example, when I bought the tomatillos today, they did not have a husk on them, but sometimes you might see them with a husk on at the grocery store, or if you are growing your tomatillos, they will definitely have that outer covering or that husk on them. So to prepare them, you want to remove that husk, and then the tomatillos are going to be very sticky. And Kaya, she already washed these off for us, so they're no longer sticky, but you want to make sure you wash them to remove any of that stickiness. So Kaya, what's our next step for this Salsa Verde recipe?
Yeah, so like Jenna said, we're gonna wash our tomatillos. We're also gonna wash our jalapeno peppers and our cilantro. Make sure everything's nice and clean. And then we're gonna preheat our oven to 450 degrees. While that's preheating, you can wash all your produce. We are then going to chop an onion, just a rough chop, and put that all on a baking sheet. Once your tomatillos, your jalapenos, and your onions are on your baking sheet, you can drizzle them with oil. I'm putting on gloves just so I don't get oily hands, but you don't have to use gloves if you're cooking at home. So we're just gonna drizzle some oil onto our peppers and our onions, and then sprinkle on some salt. And then we'll just kind of coat them in that oil and that salt, make sure they're nice and coated.
What are you looking for when you're trying to toss them in the oil?
I'm just looking to make sure that the surfaces of the onions and the peppers are nicely, evenly coated with that oil, so when they roast evenly.
Our next step is to prepare the garlic, because we are going to roast our garlic as well. Right now we've got just our garlic bulb, and I need 4 garlic cloves, so I'm going to break this apart. Sometimes you have to put your whole weight into it to break it. But you're going to get the layers off until you get to the cloves. And you can get 4 of these cloves. Right now we don't need to peel them. We just want the individual cloves. So we got 2. And if you really like garlic, feel free to add a garlic clove, 1 or 2 more of them. But we're going to put them into some sheets of aluminum foil. We're just going to coat them with a little bit of oil, and then I'm getting 2 sheets of aluminum foil just to be safe. We'll just wrap them up, make sure they're in a tight package, and then we'll put them on the baking sheet with the other vegetables.
Okay, once all of our vegetables are on our pan, we're gonna throw it in the oven and roast it for 15 to 20 minutes, or until those tomatillos get nice golden brown and squishy. Okay, these are looking perfect. They were in the oven for about 20 minutes altogether, so we're gonna go ahead and get these off and into our food processor. Would you like to unwrap the garlic, or do you want me to do that part?
All right. We've got our garlic. Oh, can you smell that garlic?
That smells amazing.
Okay, so it doesn't look too different, but you can see that it's a little shiny. So at this point, we do need to take the garlic off the skins, and I might use the tongs for that. One thing you can do is let it cool, but really you just push it out of the skin like that, and you can see that we've got a nice piece of roasted garlic. All right, There are our pieces of roasted garlic.
Perfect. Those look great. We're also going to remove the stems from our peppers before we put them in the food processor. So we should just be able to twist them off just like that. They might be a little hot. You might want to use the tongs if you don't have good heat tolerance. Perfect. And then I saw one tomatillo that still had the stem. Awesome. And since our food processor is small, I'm only going to use about half of our veggies right now. We'll throw in one of the jalapenos, some of our onions, grab some tomatillos, and then I'll grab a few of our cloves of garlic as well.
Do you want me to scoop some of this juice up?
That would be great.
We could put it in the bowl maybe, and well, I guess it's not.
Okay, we'll get that in there. Awesome. And then we're gonna add our lime juice. I'll add about half since I only have about half my veggies. And then we'll do about half a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna do a heaping half teaspoon. And then a tablespoon of oil. And then throw in cilantro to taste. I personally am a really big fan of cilantro. So we're just gonna kind of tear off the parts with the leaves. It's okay to get the stems in there too, because everything is just gonna be all blended up in our food processor. Okay, and I'm just looking for a nice smooth consistency, right? Okay, I think we're good to go here. And if it's still too thick for you, you can always add some water, just a tablespoon at a time, until it's as thin as you like it.
That looks really good.
That does. I'm excited. Oh.
All right, we've let this sit for a second. Should we give it a try?
Yeah.
All right, here's a chip.
Thank you. What do you think?
2 thumbs up for me.
I agree. It's perfect.
Yeah, great consistency, good flavor. Would be great just as a dip, but you can also have it on tacos, enchiladas. Sky's the limit when you're making a tomatillo salsa verde.